Hey yo, what is up? It's your boy Ultimate here again. First things first, I'd like to apologize if we haven't posted any video in our YouTube channel for a past month now. But today we're gonna do one and we're gonna talk about what is the best hex gear for magician, how is Tenebrous after acquiring it as a magician, what the stats are we should be aiming for, just some random magician things. Let's go. Okay, first thing that we're gonna talk about is the gears. I saw on other players, our fellow magician enjoyer, some are going with cavalry, some are going with chariot. So I like to give my thought about on each type of gears, how this is gonna work with our magician. So let's start with cavalry. So I saw some going with cavalry helmet. Is it good for a magician? Definitely. I think most of the classes or all of the classes could benefit from cavalry. If you want you know, a better cooldown, better timing rotation, more skill that you could throw, you could go with cavalry helmet. At first I thought you need to deal 10 times damage in 1 second. I was confused about that. So I thought that we can only do that in our first rotation when we throw our blazing trick and combo it with other skills, so we could deal 10 times elemental damage in a 1 second time frame. But it's not. It's actually just deal 10 times damage and then you'll get the 0.25 second cooldown every 1 second. That's all you could do. But for me, cavalry is a for a long fights. Of course, the more skill you throw, the more damage you deal. That's the logic, mostly. But I will if I will I gonna switch with cavalry. No, I'll still love the chariot helmet. As you've seen in my past video, I'll love the skill damage. It for me, it works well with my rotation and with how I play every dungeon, queen and king. So I'm still sticking with chariot. And then some are going with cavalry boots. Okay, some are getting confused how cavalry boots works. It's just basically every time you cast a skill, you'll gain 100% movement speed. That decays. What's the meaning of decays? It slowly getting to 100% to 0 in 0.5 second time frame. So which classes are gonna benefit from cavalry boots? For me, first is Mistrix and then Magician. Why? Because those two classes can throw skill like in an instant. You know? Because if your skill is channeling or it's like you need to wait for like a few seconds before you could cast a new skill, cavalry boots is really not for you, because you won't maximize the effect of it. Like every 10% movement speed you gain, you'll have a 1% damage bonus or increased damage 1%. Damage bonus is just the same until up to 13%. So most of you guys will cap it at 13%. You just need to think dodge and then use skill and then your cap. You're already having 13%. But it's only for 0.5. If you're gonna cast for say, let's say you're a berserker, you know that it has a long animation. Like after you cast a skill, you need to wait a couple of seconds before you could, or like 1 second before you could cast a new skill. That's bad for berserker. Okay, but for magician, we could throw skill like blazing trick into whatever skill that you can throw, balls, the bouncing balls, so fast, right? So for me, it just works the best for Mistrix and magician. Anything that can throw a skill in an instant is definitely can use cavalry boots. But if you're say a blade maiden, which are most of your skills are channeling or need to cast it a couple of seconds, then it's really not worth it for you. And then some are going with armor. um Armor is good, it's easy to achieve. The condition is just hitting 120 combos, but I don't think it's good with magician right now, because I've tried doing the tests or the rotation that I have. I need to throw in like 4 to 5 skill, I think, or more before I could hit 120. And that's my big skills. Blazing Tricks is a multi-hits. Bubble is a multi-hits, but takes time, and it's has a that's our long cooldown skill. So I don't think it's worked for us as a magician. And then gloves. No, we don't go with gloves. It's for gunner. Gunner could maximize this one, their ult so far that they could hit like, they could maximize it to 10%, the range of it. But mostly magician, you need to come close to the target. If not, you could stay like 5 meters or so depending on the boss, but mostly you're at the face of the boss, right? So it's not good for me. And pants is good. Airborne, we can stay in air for a long time actually, but you'll be losing the bonus damage on your bubble skill. It's a 40% damage increase. It's kind of huge, so it's kind of debatable which pants are we going with. Okay, so let's move on with chariot now. As you know, in my past video, chariot helm, every time you use an ulti or finisher, gives you 12% skill damage, and partnered it with your 2-piece set effect. Every time you use the Envy or clone, you'll get another 12. That's like 24% skill damage, and it's kind of good if you could time it. And then what's next? What chariot gears are we aiming for right now? So there's is some cases. It depends on what you like, on how would you like to activate the 3-piece chariot effect. Some are going with helm, armor, and pants. Helm, armor, and pants, because you just need to basically you just need to wait for your ulti before you could cast or before you could activate your next 3-piece chariot effect. Or you could go with gloves, but it's gonna be another gatekeep from your next chariot effect. But you'll have like 15 seconds time frame for the 3-piece chariot effect or the mournful strike, which gives you a lot of things. I'm not going into details with that. We already talked about that last past video, but that's 15 seconds. Then after that, you won't get any chariot effects or marks for 24 seconds. So in total, after activating it, your next available chariot 3-piece effect is next 39 seconds. 15 plus 24, so 39, right? Yeah. So what does that mean, effects or marks? That means after you activate the 3-piece set effect, you won't be able to activate your individual chariot effect. For example, the helm, even you even you cast a finisher after you finish your triple start effect, you won't get the effect of it, the 12% skill damage. And then the same with others. So it's kind of a hard downtime for a chariot. So for me, you guys go with what you need. You guys go with um for more flexibility, or let's say the more you can activate it, I mean the faster you can activate your next chariot effect is better, because we do have a low skill cooldown and we do have a ton of seed rate. But I still don't know if it's still gonna be better, the 3-piece chariot, compared to having a 5-piece set effect, because there's a class balancing patch that happened a month ago with our 4-piece set effect. It went from 4%, yeah, it went from 4% damage to 10% damage increase. So it's kind of huge. Even I tried and tested it myself. The difference is very noticeable. So we'll find out. I'll still love to try 3-piece chariot and share with you guys if it's bad, or whatever, if it's 5-piece set effect or 3-piece chariot, which one is better. I'll be posting that once I crafted my last piece that I'm missing. I can craft the pants now, but I'm still waiting for the armor and probably changing my gloves. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm going with full hex gears. So there's some changes with my hex gears compared to my previous video. Now I'm going with chariot, helm, armor, and pants. And for the boots, it's still kind of debatable if I'm going with cavalry or unforgiving. I like unforgiving because it gives a magic penetration. I like it on top of my pants and gives more seed rate and more attack speed compared to the cavalry. But for the cavalry, it gives me a different condition set effect or piece effect. Gives only 30, but that's fine. Gives me elemental damage and skill damage. But yeah, I'll let you know which one I'll go, but I'm still thinking which one I'm going with, unforgiving or the cavalry boots. But as for the gloves, since I already have the mighty chariot gloves, but I'm gonna change it into this one, unforgiving gloves, because I like to max my crit rate to maybe convert it into crit damage. Once you have the 3-piece set effect, the 25 excess up to 25 excess crit rate will be converted into a crit damage. So I like to maximize it as well for my Tenebrous. Even though I don't have the 3-piece set effect ready yet, I still have a good crit rate, so I won't lose the stack for my Tenebrous. Okay, now the Tenebrous. I recently acquired the Tenebrous for Magician, and it's great if you can sustain the stack. So every time you deal crit hit or you crit damage to the enemy with skills or basic attack, you receive a 1 stack. But if any non-crit skill or basic attack, you'll lose 4 stacks. So the ratio is 1:4. So I've tried or tested it with having 78 or maybe 76. I forgot, but I can barely hit 50. I think I can only hit 40 sometimes if I do my first rotation. I throw in some multiple hit skills. I do have like 100 plus combo. I was able to hit 50, but it suddenly goes down to 0 sometimes. But after reaching 86 or 83 right now, I think I'm on 83. almost 84 crit rate. This without the Mind Wars buff because we lost last night, but it should be 86. With 86 crit rate, I could sustain the Tenebrous stacks. So here's what Tenebrous Weapon effect look like on a 83.8 crit rate. So you can see I do have 83.8. I'm using Clockwork on my necklace, Vig on my brazier, but I'm planning to change this one into Thunderbolt once I acquire my last chariot piece. So I'm not gonna use any pet skill, so I won't receive the 12% additional crit rate. So let's try if we could achieve the max stack for the Tenebrous Weapon. Yeah, it's achievable at 83 plus. Plus, I don't have the Mind Wars buff, so it's additional 3% if we do win this upcoming Mind Wars. So yeah, 83 or 85 is, I think, for me is the sweet spot. So to make sure that you always be having a max stacks of the Tenebrous. If you get to choose, like if you going for cheapest chariot now, or with go spend your resources in Tenebrous, I would suggest you spend it on Tenebrous and stick with 5-piece set effect. It's very nice. And then you decide in the future if you still want to go with chariot or cavalry, whichever you prefer. Both works, but both has a different damage output and different condition. It works on a different scenario. Cavalry, as you know, to sustain, to throw more skill, but doesn't give you big damages, but still fine. Chariot is the bursting, you know, very works well on dungeons, Hex Gears and Queen Coronation. But then our current progress, we able to hit 170 codex, Tenebrous. My current 2-piece chariot is helm and gloves. Feels great. And then I'll show you my Abyssal Frontier current damage with this current gears. So here's some few tips on doing Abyssal Frontier that is probably most of you guys already know. First one is I'll recommend you guys do using legendary potion, the one that it's called Bottle Dragon's Breath, that you could get from I think that you could get from the salmon and item from the shop. You could get it here, legendary potion pack or supply. You'll get everything from here, and even the Tisps Lucky Spring. Used it to grind to gain 10% more gold. So I recommend you guys using this one, Bottle Dragon's Breath and Dew of Sweet Gale. This one gives you a 5% crit rate and then flat 50 magic attack. And for this one, gives you attack speed and seed rate. The other one is just gives you a base HP and physical defense. You could use that in Hex Chess, Queen Coronation, or Checkmate. And the other potion that you could use is the Bane Potion. So each potion works on a different type of mobs or bosses. We have Beast Bane, Mech Bane, Decay Bane, and Otherworld Bane. So how would you know which one or which type of boss for today's Abyssal Frontier? You could go into a training ground, and then from here you can summon whichever boss right now in the Abyssal Frontier. what I'm doing is, I don't know if you could check it directly from going to HD challenge and then golden fleece, but what I do is I go with my alts, and then I'll I'll let my alts do the golden fleece first, or the abyssal frontier, and then from there I will know what kind of boss for today's abyssal frontier. So let's say for today's abyssal frontier is gonna be the tower shield. So let's summon that. So from here, you can look into the top right of your monitor, and then you'll see this icon, right? So this icon represent mechanical. So this boss is a mech type boss, and what potion you'll be using is the mech bane potion. So, and for the other one, let's summon the other one. Let's clear this first and summon the other. I think this one is the other. Yeah, this one. As you can see, this icon here, this is a beast bane. So you need to use beast potion to deal additional damage for this type of boss or mobs. Okay, so mech bane and beast bane. So it gives 6% damage increase, which is really helpful. And then what you need to do is check your alts golden please buff. No, you need to go to the bar and look for Dawn. The one that gives 5% damage bonus, or you deal 5% more damage. It's called Dawn. Or if you don't have in your alts, try to ask your fleet members. They can share it with you. You just need to be in a party with the same person that has that Dawn buff. Then they can share it with you. And then, of course, your elemental buff, whichever element you're using. For me, I'm using pyro, so this is my food buffs I'm using: potato pancake, and then the new food buffs. Snow Sunday gives you 6% bonus damage on a debuff target. Magician, is a debuff class. It applies a lot of debuffs, so it works well with us. And then you sleep. Sleep buff actually is a RNG. Sometimes you get a negative buff, sometimes you get a positive buff. So aim for Journey to the Other World, I think, and then it gives you 3% at basic attack and skill damage, and the other one is the one that gives you attack speed, I think. I forgot the title of that sleep, but those two are the one that I'm aiming for. But still, it's RNG. If you don't get it, that's fine. You can still continue doing Abyssal Frontier by just having legendary potion with your buffs, and then golden please buff. So I have a nightmare. It's a negative buff to 3 PDEP and MDEP. I don't know how often you could take a sleep buff. I think it's 30 minutes or 1 hour. I forgot. I'll post it in the comment section once I figure out how often you could get a sleep buff. I don't think you can spam it right now. It just says that you already sleep or something. Yeah, you just rested. Come back when you're tired. So now let's check out the video of my Abyssal Frontier that I did last Friday. Let's go. Always try to get club as much as possible. Okay. I'm 20 now. You actually have like 70 seconds before the match automatically starts. I think 29 is good. I'm happy with it. I'm just waiting for it to go cooldown. Yeah, blazing trick. Gotta need that one. Three, two, one, go. And just do your rotation. Pretty good. Oh, wrong one. 7-9. Okay. Oh, it was close. Fuck. I think this guy or still has a run. Alright, that is for today, guys. Thank you for the love and support. I'll see you guys in the next one.